cost of living crisis coming up, younger people are looking abroad for a better, more cost-effective lifestyle.
Yeah, rising mortgage rates, inflated taxes and stagnant wages are sparking fears of a mass exodus of skilled workers emigrating from the UK in search of higher pay and better work-life balances.
This is what £560 per month can get you when living in Thailand. So you can get accommodation for as little as £100, £200 per month in Thailand. Like, literally, I'm not lying, it's that cheap.
Then you can... One economist says tonight that everyone under 50 should seriously consider quitting Britain as the only way to have a better and more prosperous life.
You will never be English, you are African Caribbean.
Out of approximately 532,000 people that left the UK in the year ending December 2023, 98,000 of them were British citizens, with just over 200,000 being EU citizens and further 233,000 non-EU citizens. It is believed that 23% of UK adults are said to be considering moving abroad in the next 5 years, with 12% contemplating emigrating in the next 12 months. There was a time where moving out of UK videos were predominantly made by immigrants not feeling the love of their British land. But recently, my YouTube page is littered with videos of Brits wishing to move out of the UK. In this video, I delve into the reason why Brits are leaving the land of tea and opportunities, Great Britain, in search of better life elsewhere.
In the UK, it's not a high cost of living, guys. I made that mistake, I must say. It has a high cost of surviving.
My name is Mickey. Keep watching. The first reason is for better job opportunities. According to a research by a Gen Z insight company, Prograd, over half of Brits have considered leaving the UK for better working opportunities abroad. This sentiment was particularly strong within those working in healthcare, educational professions, and lawyers. When asked why, 41% of Brits said it was too expensive in the UK, and further 41% said they couldn't afford a home in the UK, so wanted to settle elsewhere. Over a third said the economy makes it difficult to save, and 29% think they will be paid more for their job abroad.
My best friend has moved to the other side of the world, having qualified as a doctor here, just simply because she could have a better life over there. This is a huge problem, not least if we're training up medics in Scotland, where it's completely free. They get all of their training for free, and then they qualify and they say, thanks for that, and off they go with their doctor's qualifications and earn elsewhere.
Absolutely, and they're voting with their feet. I think they're saying it's a combination of things, that they're treated so badly here in terms of very high tax rates, very high housing costs, and they're looking at the other side and saying, well, things are more attractive there. Sometimes doctors can double their pay by going to Australia or the US, and it's a lifestyle thing. This is a big deal, pay and lifestyle, and we're just not offering them what we should be offering.
Yeah, I've had friends, anaesthetists, who've done exactly the same thing and moved to Australia, and they have like double the pay and a much nicer lifestyle. How much of this do you think is because we historically found out that people would come with those skills to Britain, but now we're seeing a complete inversion? How did we get to that place?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we're looking at a brain drain. In the past, we've had a brain gain. We've, as it were, been stealing or poaching doctors and medics from other countries. I think we got to that place because of the way we've treated young people. I mean, it's very much a question of intergenerational fairness. I mean, older people do so well, relatively, out of the system in terms of the universal benefits and in terms of the way that the pensions are
protected, the triple lot,
absolutely,
benefiting those millionaire pensioners, about a third of them.
Absolutely, yes. I think we've also got the problem that young people are paying such a high rate of tax. It's not just tax, it's also national insurance and then student loan repayments. So it's actually about 42%, maybe 43% that they pay on any extra income that they earn.
The next reason is the elephant in the room, cost of living. Households in the UK have experienced a significant fall of living standards since the late 2021. According to Statista, over half of UK households reported an increase in cost of living as of January 2024. Though this was down from a peak 91% in summer 2022, it is evidence of persistent problem facing the country. Households facing the spike in prices mainly attribute this increase to higher food, electricity and fuel costs. Some Brits just feel their money would go further abroad.
Looking at London, and I always make a point that I live in Zone 5. I live in Croydon. I've got a 2-bed flat that I'm paying £13.50 for. When I start calculating all of my extra expenses, okay, so, and I always like to do the math, so £13.50, you add another £100 for council tax, that's £14.50. Add another sort of £2.50 free bills for your electric, water, and all of that, and gas. That's now £14.50, let's call it £16.50, yeah? Talk about food, £200 a month, that's £18.50. Let's talk about transport, £50 a week, it's another £200. That's £2,050, yeah? Remember, I haven't bought any clothes, I haven't done anything yet, I'm on £2,050. What else may I have missed out? Let's say I've got a car. You know, the typical thing nowadays is to finance or lease. Let's say I've got a little Golf, that might cost me what? Maybe... How much is that? How much was your Mercedes you had a month?
356.
Okay, so let's call it 250. Let's call it.
Well, now they've gone up.
Let's call it 2,450 now. That's for your lease for your car. Now you got to talk insurance. Call it another £100. I'm on 2,550.
Bills.
I haven't done anything fancy yet. Now, what is that salary wise after tax? That's like a 40k salary. You're just paying your bills. You're working full time. And if you moved out, you would just about break even. All your luxuries, gone.
I'd have nothing.
Nah, it's finished. 2,500 is what you need to break even to live by yourself in Zone 5. In Zone 5, 2,500.
The third reason is to seek better quality of life abroad for cheap. UK is believed to be 50% more expensive compared to the rest of Europe. Ranking the cheapest out of 49 countries, the UK plays 41, proving to cost more than the Nordic countries of Finland and Sweden. Though the cost of living in UK is slightly lower compared to USA and Canada, workers are generally paid more in these two countries than in the UK. In general, Asia tends to have lower housing, utility and transportation costs compared to the UK. As of 2022, the cost of living in Thailand is around 34.2% lower than in the UK.
This is what £560 per month can get you when living in Thailand. So you can get accommodation for as little as £100, £200 per month in Thailand. Like literally, I'm not lying, it's that cheap. And then you can also get accommodation for £1,000 a month. This is in the middle, so this is £560 per month. And you need to remember, this is being split between me and Taylor, so we're paying half. The reason why we absolutely fell in love with this is obviously it's on a really high floor, but there's glass windows all in the bedroom, the living room and the kitchen. So you have the best view of Bangkok no matter where you are. I really liked it just because it's different. So you have an upstairs and a downstairs, like a little makeup desk vibe with a work desk vibe. It comes with a couch, big TV, air fryer, PS5. And we have lights that you can change colour, so you can put them purple, pink, green, whatever you want. It also has an infinity pool, rock climbing wall, basketball court on the roof. This is where we live and I'm so excited and I can't wait to show you more Thailand content.
We should, however, bear in mind that cheap do not always mean safe and high quality. But after watching numerous Thai apartment tour videos, I can't help but think it is a bargain. The fourth reason is political friction and government policies. Sat on a dinner table with few work colleagues one evening, I posed the question of where they would like to retire if they had unlimited time and money. Out of nowhere, one of them said, and I quote, "I love my country, Mickey, but I'm happy to burn it down to restart." You will be hard-pressed to find a Brit who is happy with the policies of the government at this time. Most Brits cite poor immigration policies as an example. Also, there is a noticeable divide when it comes to issues of race, gender, and the likes, which can get too draining for an average Brit. Sometimes you just want to be where nobody cares.
How are you feeling about immigration at the moment?
Well, I'll say what I think. And I'm not a racist, but I'm a realist. Right? I'll speak up. Back in the old days, 1066, right, yeah, when the Normans landed, was that called an invasion, yeah?
My life was very hard, you know, because my dad, he left me alone. So I've been growing up alone, you know. I came to Europe when I was young, when I was like 7 years old. You know, but immigration, I think, is good to help people.
When the Vikings landed, military-aged men, they called it an invasion when I was at school.
What made you and your family come to Europe and then the UK?
My family made me to come because to have a better life, so we can work, so we can have the rights in this country. But every people need to work for the food, for the money. Understand?
And when the Allies landed on the beaches of Normandy, D-Day. That was the invasion, weren't it? So you tell me the difference.
Is the difference not it's an army versus like the Normans were an army, the Vikings were an army?
They were armies, weren't they? Yeah. Invading armies.
But surely that's the difference.
Well, what do you call military-aged men?
I'm a military-aged man.
Okay, fine, not a problem. Men fleeing war take their women and kids. Men going to war go alone or in large groups. Yeah? We need to use common sense and stop being pussies and scared of speaking the truth.
Politics. Now, whenever I now see things about politics in the UK, all the elections and all the, just like the nasty fighting that is happening between the two sides, and even more so in places like the US, and I see these things happening, like, this just gives me this like really toxic feeling, this like I just don't want to see that. So whenever I see that now, I'm just like, I'm so glad I no longer have to worry about any of that. I can just like look at it from afar and just realize just how shambolic the politics are, like both parties in both sides of the aisle in a lot of these countries are.
The fifth reason why Brits are leaving the UK is to retire in sunnier countries for cheap. I was returning from Kenya after working there for 7 months. The weather was so bright for the duration of the flight until we descended into the British airspace. This was when I realized how great the UK is. Whenever I land in Ghana, I'm met with smile and happiness, but greeted with moodiness in the UK, the perceived richer side. For this reason, some Brits move to warm parts of Europe, Asia, and Africa during their retirement age. Plus, their pension stretches further due to the magic of exchange rates.
I'm just much happier. First of all, we have the weather. The UK has some of the worst weather in the world. I cannot describe to you what a difference it makes to go from having overcast, grey skies, which is grey everything everywhere, cold weather, to now living in places like the Middle East and Asia where it's sunshine every single day. To me, that just affects my happiness so much, and is probably the biggest quality of life improvement that I've seen.
The next reason why Brits are leaving the UK is for adventure. With the average age of marriage steadily increasing in England and Wales, Brits are more likely to say I do to adventure before marriage. According to the Gloucestershire Live, over half of Brits consider themselves adventurous, with people defining this as trying new experience and traveling the world. For a small island that managed to colonize and control nearly a quarter of the world's land area and population, believe me when I say Brits love to encroach on borders afar. The next reason why some Brits leave the UK is because of the people and culture.
The gloomy mentality of the people. The UK is just a very pessimistic place in general. And it's not only after you leave the UK that you realize just how much that affects you. The negative attitudes is just terrible.
For someone who was born and raised in Ghana, where you regularly find complete strangers greet and vibe with each other on the streets, I would like to admit that I sometimes hold these same sentiments. The number of times I've greeted people on the streets just to be met with blank looks is insane. But I also think the cold nature of British people on the streets is just a form of defense mechanism. Once you are able to break the ice, usually over a drink, you realize that Brits are some of the chattiest people you can find. The final reason why Brits are leaving the UK is racism. Considering the government's policies on immigration, many Brits do not feel much is being done to curb net migration. This topic can sometimes raise tension and recently sparked riots in various UK cities. Living with this fear causes Brits from minority backgrounds to move back to their home of heritage.
You keep saying that you are African Caribbean, which is fine. But how can you be African Caribbean and English? I couldn't be African. I'm English, but I certainly could not call myself African Caribbean.
You could be Irish, though. You could have Irish.
No, I'm not Irish.
Yeah, but
I'm
you
not
could
Scottish.
be. You could be.
No, I'm not. Because I have looked my name right the way back to the Middle Ages, my maiden name, and I'm Anglo-Saxon.
Great.
But you will never be English. You are African Caribbean.
But why will I never be English?
Because you're African Caribbean.
All in all, it's all about choices. Though some Brits are leaving the UK for various reasons, there are a majority of them that wouldn't swap it for the world for other reasons. And to people born in third world countries, UK will always be a land of opportunities. For how long? I'm not sure.
No, of course, the last 13 years haven't been great. And you're right, we have had unnecessary austerity measures and we have had draconian measures put down our throats in the last couple of years as well. But that doesn't mean actually the backbone of this country isn't brilliant, because it is absolutely fantastic. And we are very lucky and privileged to be able to live here. And I understand the sentiment and put forward, but I don't also like this idea of little England. You know, that we aren't great, that we aren't an envy of the world, when actually we are.
If you enjoyed this video, I think you like this video where I talk about why you should consider moving to Ghana from the UK. I would like to know your opinion in the comment section. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. Please subscribe to come on my journey of experience. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next one.